Why is cultural borrowing hard to trace? Have you ever wondered why it can be so tricky to pinpoint where certain cultural practices or symbols come from? The concept of cultural borrowing is fascinating, yet it presents challenges in tracing its origins. Cultural borrowing often involves a gradual and sometimes unconscious adoption of elements from one culture to another. This process can span long periods and take many forms, such as styles, rituals, or themes. As these elements are integrated into a new culture, their original sources can become less obvious. One reason tracing cultural borrowing is difficult is the complexity of cultural exchange. It is not simply a matter of one culture taking something from another. Instead, elements can be combined, modified, or reinterpreted to fit new contexts. This blending creates hybrid forms that obscure their origins. Additionally, there are multiple layers and forms of borrowing. Some borrowing is shallow, meaning it is a superficial copying of an element. Other times, it is deep, where the borrowed element is transformed and integrated into the new culture. This variety makes it hard to identify when and where a cultural element first appeared. Another factor is the lack of clear documentation. Many cultural exchanges happen informally or orally. This means that they are often not recorded in history, making it challenging to track the precise pathways of borrowing. Power dynamics also play a role in this complexity. Sometimes, dominant cultures adopt elements from marginalized cultures without acknowledgment. This can erase or obscure the original context, making it even harder to trace the origins of certain cultural elements. As borrowed elements are adapted to new environments, their meanings can change significantly. This transformation further masks their source and complicates the tracing process. Understanding these challenges is important, especially when we look at cultural traditions and family customs around the world. It highlights the need for cultural sensitivity and respect. When sharing or exploring cultural elements, it is essential to consider their origins and meanings carefully. Practical steps include educating oneself about the significance behind customs or symbols, consulting with members of the source culture, and giving proper credit. This approach helps maintain the integrity of cultural heritage while appreciating the rich connections between global traditions. Cultural borrowing is hard to trace because it involves a dynamic and layered process of adaptation and transformation. This blending of cultural elements can obscure their original sources. Recognizing this complexity is key to appreciating and preserving cultural heritage responsibly.